G'day and welcome back to the Pillars of Ranternity. Last time we explored the first level of the catacombs and we got most of the way through it. But this time we're actually going to go downstairs. Ooh, here we go, never far from the Queen. Go to the Temple of Ranneko and investigate this. The older-robed man. In front of you looms the ghostly hollow image of the man who was present at your awakening. He casts a pale, sickly light in the dank corridor as he regards you. You are from
Kratom, my dear.
His words are an echo in your mind for a time long past, and you know your response before you speak it as if it's always been. So let's go with, yes, I was born there.
A remarkable city. Truly one of the most impressive we have encountered outside of our own. Many exceptional people who have joined our cause come from Kratom. What made you decide to join our order?
Let's see. We can go with the world needs to know about the true gods.
Remember never to be discouraged by those who cling to their beliefs. They are worthy of our pity, not our scorn. Are you ready to take the oath? To spread the word of the gods to the lost and heathen?
I am. Hey, we had taxes collected. We got money. Sweet money. You're still there. We can do these things. I just don't know what you get from those. And how are we doing with our building projects? I wish there was a way of just quickly going to whatever it is. Right, so 18 hours and that will finish. Okay, now. We got up here.
I've got something over here.
Excuse me, pup. Well, whoa.
But I'm slowly dying.
Hey, can you get out of the poison, you idiots? Ah.
Just say the word.
Well, whatever. Ooh. Amulet of Health, plus 15 max endurance. Not bad. And then magic stuff. Magic. You can take this magic. Does she already have offerings? Healing bonus and reflexes. I mostly want those reflexes. So I don't think I will give it to her.
Yeah.
You think you hear the faint sounds of whispering come from the skulls, but the words are unintelligible. Okay, cool. Oh, that's right, we're now on normal difficulty as well. That's cool.
Greetings.
Please, the mercenary looks at his feet. Please go in. His eyes start up to the rest of your party. You know the acolyte doesn't like guests. I keep any friends of yours out of the main chamber. He shuffles. She's already in a state on account of someone being late. No sense in provoking her further. What's going on here? Not a clue, I assure you. We'll keep to ourselves and watch for uninvited guests, just like your acolyte told us. No questions asked. Yeah, well, I'm not going to then ask questions. Okay. And these are all mercs.
Just say the word.
And so we will leave that there.
I'll go on ahead.
Sneak along. Like some kind of sneaky pants.
I've got something over here.
What did I discover? I don't actually see it. Ah, there. Also mercs. Ooh, nice. Don't mind me, I'm just gonna steal everything that isn't nailed down, but that's okay, because I'm a member. Aloth falters and brings a hand to his forehead. He takes a staggering step forward, coughing and spluttering.
Back, you clod! Those hooded fiends are nigh to be...
Elf, pull yourself together! He grimaces, catching his breath. It's nothing, I'm fine. This probably isn't the best place to linger anyhow. Yep, sure. Got it.
Just say the word.
Alice got some interesting stuff to do at the sanitarium. So definitely need to do that. Retreat from the door. Okay, so that is... What? Oh, I see.
Just say the word.
So that is actually the area we want to go, and it immediately teleported our party there for reasons. Which means I want to go here and take things. All of the things.
Nothing will slip past me.
Initiate book lies
I'll have
here.
this open in no time. As promised.
Take these things. Take this. Look at the book. The Queen That Was and Still Is. This is the same book we read before.
Good day, stranger.
A lone figure paces back and forth, tapping his chest, tapping his fingers by his sides, muttering to himself. He jumps when he sees you, hands on his chest. By the flame, you startled me. Shouldn't you be at the meeting, attendant? The acolyte's waiting for you. It's not time for the initiates meeting, is it yet? Tell me about the meeting. This must be your first time. The acolyte communicates with each of us individually to hear about progress on old tasks and assign us new ones. He shudders with a mix of pleasure and dread. It's a unique process. She has a cipher, so she can speak to you without words. Fascinating until she realizes you realize that she can probably read your thoughts as easily. What do you know about these tasks? Only what I absolutely need to. We protect the secrets of the gods, so discretion is essential. He waves a hand between the two of you. We receive our instructions from the acolyte, just as she receives hers from someone else, and so on, right up to the Grand Master. Our role is to obey, knowing as little about the overall plan and each other as possible. How can you be confident that you're doing the right thing when you know so little? That's easy. The leaden key has been around for ages by the blessing of the gods. You only have to look around us to see the perils of trying to usurp divine power. Killing a god into the saints' war has cursed us all, and the heresy of animancy has only worsened matters. Try to replace the soul, and you'll inevitably end up with a monster. It's all been a warning. There are some powers we just shouldn't have. Tell me about these secrets. You shouldn't even be asking. Whatever they are, they're secrets for a reason. Our job's to guard them, not to know them. We've been entrusted with important work. It's an honor, but not without its challenges. You need something else? I'll be ready for the initiates meeting soon. Honest. What are you doing here? I've been practicing the past phrases. I know them backwards and forwards, but I get so nervous every time I think about repeating them to the acolyte. You can practice on me. Okay, here goes. First question. State your name and purpose. Answer. My name belongs to the gods and my hand to their service. Second question. What company do you seek? Answer. I seek the company of shadows, that our labours may remain secret. Third question. Tell me of your labours. Answer. To see the craft of the kith and the wilder does not disturb what bones the gods buried. Fourth question. How do you know of your purpose? Answer. You shall know it by the confession of thy tongue, the deeds of thy hand, and the oath of my soul. Riddles upon riddles, what bones of the gods buried? It's very dramatic, isn't it? Oh, I'm sorry, please continue. Fifth question. And how is your oath guarded? Answer. It is sealed by the leaden key. It wasn't so hard. Sounds like you got it. Goodbye. I do, I think. I'm just going to practice a few more times for myself before the meeting. Okay, we totally got that, right? I mean, I'm pretty sure we got that. Totally got that. Save. Run. Why did you stop? No, seriously, why did you stop? That makes no sense. Pathfinding, please. So let's continue into the chamber alone. You open the door and stride into the chamber. Several shrouded figures are lined up from a hooded woman. The figure at the head of the line approaches her. The woman places her outstretched hand on the stranger's forehead. They stand in silent communion as you look on. A few moments later, the stranger steps aside and resumes his place at the circle around the statue. The woman turns to you. You are late, attendant. Even though her face is concealed, you sense her rage in her dangerously low voice and the sudden silence of the others in the chamber.
I've been waiting on your reports. Quickly now.
The
State
woman,
your name and purpose.
The woman beckons you closer with her curling fingers. She rests her open hand on your forehead. You feel the heat from her palm through the thick material of your hood. Her voice is so low and soft you're not certain whether she's speaking aloud or in your head. State your name and purpose. My name belongs to the gods, and my hand to their service.
What company do you seek?
I seek the company of Jeez. I seek the company of shadows, that our labours may remain secret.
Tell me of your labours.
To see the craft of kith and Wilder does not disturb what bones the gods have buried.
How do we know your purpose?
You shall know it by the confession of my tongue, the deeds of my hand, and the oath upon my soul.
And how is your oath guarded?
It is sealed by the leaded key.
Welcome, attendant. Tell me of your exploits.
In your mind, you see a building magnificent with trellises and tiles located on a pristine boulevard. The wealthy and learned stroll in and out, trading knowledge and coin.
Does he wait still?
Yet it is also a house of misery and madness. Somewhere within its rotten core, his hair matted, but his eyes alert. He watches and waits, a prisoner by choice. The acolyte's question echoes in your mind. Yes, he still
Did they
waits.
arrive?
The acolyte's sign takes you out of Defiance Bay into a town in the wilderness with a waterfall. A sign on one of the paths reads, Deerford. Several figures huddled together, shrouded in cloaks and hoods. Images of ruins suddenly looms in your mind. 2 skeletal effigies flank a cleft in the mountainside. Did they arrive? No.
Your information shall be relayed.
The ruins
Now, for your next task.
The ruins fade from your mind. In their place is a palimpsest of a neighborhood, run-down estates, a cobbled around a cemetery, and an ancient tower. Savage shapes prowl the streets, and in the tower a man hunches over a strange mechanism. You can't see him clearly, but there's something unnatural about him.
Stop him. And above all,
don't
let him meet her.
Yeah, you see a woman deathly pale with a scar over her heart. The acolyte shows you a door on the base of the tower, a seemingly impenetrable slab of stone and copper. Then she shows you the invisible split between the perfectly matched halves. You understand how the copper veins convert a command into action. The command comes into your mind, a surprising familiarity about it. You know how to open the door. I shall. Have you any questions, attendant? No. None that I think are good to ask. Okay, so we want to do those various quests.
Nothing will slip past me.
So what we're going to do is we're going to take these things. And I think we're meant to do all of those things. I just thought it would be best to make shit up then. Fortunately, she totally accepts my lies. What happens if I do this? Yep, doesn't care. Excellent. So that is a way out of the catacombs. The steward of Caed Nua has received a letter for you. Okay, letter is addressed, may present an interesting opportunity. So we should go to there. So the question becomes, do we go to there now? Do we go to there a bit later? I certainly don't want to leave town until our building is complete. Then I kind of also want to see what I can do with and that's 15 hours. I do want to see what I can do with a few other bits and pieces. And there's a ghost here.
Come to pay your respects to the queen that was.
A ghost hovers in the middle of the ruin, reciting blessings and prayers. Even as the spirit's form shifts and swirls, it retains the face of an elderly man in robes that mark wealth and status. It turns to you. Who are you?
Lord Ardwellen Rugforb III, and pleased to make your acquaintance. I came to the Deerwood on one of the first ships from Adia, and unlike the yokels and hut dwellers around here, I still keep to the old ways.
So I've apparently been saying Adia wrong. I'll try and remember it. It's truly a pity to see what the locals have done to Wodika's house of worship. What are you doing?
Worshipping Wodika, the exiled queen and oathbinder. I come every day to offer my devotion. I'd love nothing more than to book passage back to Adia, but it is my emperor's wish that I serve in these barbaric lands. and so I do.
I'd like to know about Woodika.
A queen among the gods. She oversees laws and oaths. Everything has a rightful place, and Woodika watches over them all. Of course, not everyone accepts this. Even among the other gods, her authority is questioned. But Woodika is also goddess of memory and vengeance, and she remembers. She'll remember every slight and trespass when she reclaims her throne.
You know you're a ghost, right?
I beg your pardon? Is this some sort of joke where you come from?
Look, I'm serious. Look around. Look at yourself.
A madhouse. That's what this town really needs.
Alright, sure. Whatevs.
A moment, please. I feel I should explain myself.
Probably. Let me just loot
Just
stuff
say the
and
word.
then absolutely. Alright, I'll chat with you.
About my episode in the catacombs. There's something I should have told you earlier.
That's an understatement. He clasped his hands together, slowly massaging a knuckle with his thumb. I meant no harm. I thought I could keep it to myself. That when we resolved the matter of your soul, we would also resolve my problem.
I also have an awakened soul. But unlike yours, mine is a presence that shares my senses and my skin, making herself manifest at the most unwelcome times.
So the key part of this is that indicates that souls definitely move from between genders. Like, I mean, he has a female. One of his past lives was female, which is interesting. I mean, if you're going to have reincarnation, I don't see why it would be gender bound. So it works for me, but it's definitely interesting. He closes his eyes and grits his teeth. His lips quiver and twitch with the vestiges of some internal debate. Several seconds later, he opens his eyes again. They're watery and bloodshot.
I'm sorry. I've tried to learn to control Isilmir. I've gotten stronger, but so has she.
Tell me about Isilmir.
Heartless, uncouth, a creature of rash impulses and feeble faculties. She wags her impertinent tongue when she should listen.
Yeah, I don't think he likes her.
Aye, this one's fit to boil. Hard to get this gaff over anything tisn't to do with books and spell speak.
I have none of her memories. Barath spared me that much, but her coarse manners and intolerable heel speak suggest a provincial from a very, very long time ago. And that's also interesting, is soul and personality and soul and behavior are very different. And this is like, surely soul and nature are basically the same. So this really changes the nature versus nurture debate in this environment. She tends to surface, her head's breadth from conflict, when the fuse has burned down and teeth are on edge. And when she shows up, she doesn't stop to gauge a situation. She just acts. Sounds like you should take a few cues from her. Cues or vulgarisms? He rolls his eyes and crosses his arms over his chest. I've had to live with that hayseed for years. There's nothing to be learned from her. Nothing civilized, anyway. He frowns, looking away. Why didn't you say something sooner?
I learned to keep her a secret a very long time ago. Those with awakened souls are shunned, mistrusted. And after your experience with Meerwald, I'm certain you can see why. You need to be careful.
Ranneko. I find it kind of obviously they're not going to read out my name. Is this going to be a problem?
Merely an annoyance. Although,
he lowers his voice and clasps his hands behind his back. Minute twitches and spasms along his arms betrays fidgeting.
Defiance Bay is said to have an entire institution dedicated to the study and cure of soul-related ailments. Since our journeys have already brought us to the city, perhaps we could speak with someone there.
Sure, we could do that.
Thank you. This has been a great burden.
Let's talk about something else. Let's talk to you, eh? I'd like to know more about Isilmir. Such as, when did she awaken? My father was a strict man. He expected the best from his only child, and he didn't tolerate failure. His face becomes drawn. At times he could be rather adamant, particularly when he'd been drinking. Isilmir manifested on one such occasion. To be honest, I don't remember the specifics, only that he was more careful with me after that. He said he'd learned to hide her a long time ago. My mother instructed me to keep her a secret after she first emerged. She feared that knowledge of my awakening would render me an outcast. Even though Isilmir proved useful against my father, I trusted my mother's advice and have since come to see the wisdom behind it. Meowold is an extreme example, but one that I can relate to more and more each year. Could I talk directly to her? He gives you a taut frown. Her usurpations are uncomfortable enough. I'm not eager to invite her into my consciousness more than necessary. Alright, something else? Any thoughts? Nope. I didn't actually mean to do that one.
Leave it to me.
You pressed the wrong button. Whatever. Let's just go pick some flowers, and there was something down here. These flowers as well. I should probably talk to the other companions at some point.
All these circling feet heading nowhere.
So what can we see in this part of town? Actually, we've got a map. Ducal Palace, Heritage Hill, Andra's Gift, Valian Embassy, Brackenbury, Crucible Keep, and Copper Lane. So if we were to go back to Copper Lane, what did we want to do? We wanted to go to wherever the sanctuary is. If I press this and go to world map, does it give me any useful information? Nope. Let's go to Brackenbury. There are a bunch of different quests that I can start on here, but I think I'm going to try and keep any individual quests together on the grounds that it'll be easier for someone watching to follow. Well, that's at least my thinking anyway. We've got a few different quests competing for our time right now. But we've got two that basically say go to the sanctuary. Sanitarium. So let's talk to this lady.
And well met.
A woman stands in the shade of the garden, muttering to herself. She is fixated on the pages of a large, well-worn tome, seemingly oblivious to the blossoming flowers and cool, fragrant breeze. Do you mind? I'm rather busy. What are you so busy with? I'm studying soul attachment. We all know that souls move into people at birth and out of them at death. We've got a lot of questions about what makes them stick, so to speak. What do you mean, stick? She brushes a stray lock from her forehead. Souls power bodies and give their tissues life, but only when they're firmly attached. It's separation that leads to a whole spate of soul-related ailments, including the hollow bond. But if we understood how to reattach souls, we could end Waiden's legacy, maybe even conquer death. That's the theory, anyway. Unfortunately, I don't have all the research I need to put into practice. What exactly do you need? There's a manuscript called the Theorems of Pangrim. It contains research from Pangrim's experiments on detached souls. The Hall of Revealed Mysteries is rumored to have a copy in the Elder Archives. Pangrim's work is considered to be one of the more daring animancy texts. Not something generally circulated amongst novices, nor easy to get hold of. I wonder if we might get a peek at it. Theorems could advance my research by leaps and bounds, but Grimda, the High Archivist, worships Whale, which means she's got some paradoxical views on sharing and restricting knowledge. And since she's not exactly a proponent of animancy, she tends to restrict the kinds of information that would be useful to me. That's a shame. Look at me spilling my troubles. It's kind of you to listen, but I really should get back to my work. Anything else? I have some questions about the book. What are the Elder Archives? The rarest most... yeah, that's where the rare books are, obviously. Why doesn't she lend it to you? She's rather protective of these books, especially the rare ones, and Grimda hates animancy. Some knowledge is best kept under lock and key. What is it? Pentagram was an animancid working in Deerwood. He had some interesting theories about Essen and some rather innovative techniques for studying it. He was able to reattach souls to bodies after death, though he wasn't able to prevent his patients from degenerating. He was controversial, to say the least, but many are starting to realize he was merely ahead of his time. What do you mean by degenerating? Well, there seems to be a tiny problem with reattaching souls after death. The bodies will reanimate and even retain memories and personality, but they develop a hunger for flesh. Living soul-infused flesh. Without it, they start to devolve, decaying mentally and physically. If the process goes too far, which eventually it does, they become mindless corpses, attacking anything that moves. We haven't figured out a way to avoid that. So, you manufacture zombies. Good job. That is more than an inconvenient side effect. You have reproduced an unnatural curse with little to show for it. Sounds like necromancy. Nonsense! Necromancy is magic. This is science. She emphasizes the last word. I'd like to know more about the whole of mysteries. Yeah, that's it. That's all I wanted to ask. And so that is another quest to pick up. And yeah, so now we're in the sanitarium, and of course, the sanitarium is another place full of books and interesting people and background pieces, where obviously the best approach is to take everything and probably talk to everyone. We'll definitely do at least one of those things. And this isn't even stealing, so you know, we should totally do that. At some point, if people are interested, I can kind of do some more lore reading, but I'm pretty sure that is not going to be a major thing. Okay.
I'm on the trail.
Just say the word.
So we're just going to check for anything hidden. Yes. And you know what? We'll send you over there and you over here, just in case.
Just say the word.
And, yeah. So, I mean, animancy has kind of been horrendously illegal for ages. Let's see what this Ordmer fellow's up to. A bold man with a crooked nose gestures in demonstration over a still body of a patient before a small gathering of interested onlookers. Feeling your gaze, he pauses into the discussion. Have you come to sit in? Do you know anything about awakenings? I'm afraid that's not my area of expertise. Okay. What is your area of expertise? What is it you do here? Close as we are to the Glenfathan wilds, we get a number of biowac maimings every year, survivors dealing with complications from exposure. This fellow here is an extreme case. His essence is a mere whisper of what it once was. I'm early in my research, only beginning to understand how they work, but in time I hope to find a way to protect people from the storm's effects. Ah, right. Cool. What else? Then this guy, who is kind of tricky. A well-maintained statue of a middle-aged man presides over the room, looking down unblinkingly over the bustle of hurried academics pestered by the hopeful desperate. A strong warmth emanates from it, and you can feel from across the room there's a human soul stored beneath the stonework. You feel its attention turned towards you. It has been a long time since I watched you grace the halls. His voice echoes deeply, rumbling the floor beneath you. I am envious of your natural insights, traveller. I can only imagine how it might have helped my work in life. Now, what has brought you to the sanitarium? You may have a member of the Leaden Key in your midst. Ethelmer groans, and the stone around him shudders. I could have done without hearing that today. Many have their intrusions been into our affairs. Of course, one can seldom be certain whether they've meddled or whether calamity has struck on its own, but a few of their less skilled infiltrators have been exposed from time to time. They are perpetual nuisances. Once again, I am reminded of how envious I am of your gifts. I suspect they would be useful in verifying one's identity. You're at odds with the leaden key as well, I take it. They are up to something, and I'm trying to determine what. They are always up to something. Of that you may rest assured. If their plots have come to involve you, you have my sympathies. Do you have some idea of who this person might be? I won't until I've met them. Very well. In that case, I would recommend you speak first with our resident animancers. They have frequent interactions with both patients and colleagues. You'll find them up here or in their offices downstairs. You'll report anything suspicious to me immediately. That is my only request. I'm also looking for an animancer named Mordred. Mordred, of course. You'll find him downstairs in the first room on the right. Curious as to how you came to be in your present state. In the statue, you mean? Well, I was old, and it seemed wrong to me, a lifetime spent in pursuit of discovery only to lose it all in death. Somewhere, someday, I'd wake up in a new body, none the wiser, and pursue a different course entirely. All that experience wasted. If we are to ever unearth the principles behind our existence, it will be in spite of our condition. Of that I'm quite sure. To live on as part of something I helped build seemed to me a better legacy than what nature had in store. The transfer in itself was quite simple as our techniques go, and for that I'm grateful. Playing with souls is far easier to accept when they're not your own. I do miss being able to take an active role in the scholarly efforts here. Now and again one of our animancers will humour me and consult over some problem, but they're a jealous breed and too often afraid to collaborate. If you're considering it yourself, I can tell you it's not for the easily bored. Tell me about the sanitarium. A history lesson? This is a rare pleasure. Most come in here only concerned with cheating death one way or another. We're an old institution as Deerwood goes. This is our 94th year. As with many cities, the growth of Defiance Bay brought with it a host of problems. The worst was those born with, shall we say, ill-favoured souls that came to populate the streets in droves. Thus the sanitarium. Brackenbury was a natural fit. It was growing, but there was also a lot of money here back then. This place owes its survival to the curiosities of the wealthy more than anything, I think. Our founding came at a time of great suspicion in animancy, much like today. So much of our progress has been lost to the mishaps of a few careless practitioners. But in time it was forgotten, as all things are. Since then we have been at the forefront of animancy's resurgence. We have played host to many gifted researchers and pushed the boundaries of our knowledge. Didn't mean to tap that, that's inconvenient. Today's, well, I can't say it's exactly the same. There have been those pushing to shut us down. It came from Deerwood's more excitable denizens, whose minds are more passionate than thoughtful, I'm afraid. People see this legacy, and they see it involves something they don't understand, so it's natural for them to suspect people whose understanding exceeds theirs. It looks to them like we're hiding something. We have a representative in the palace at this very moment defending the entire science of animancy, adhering before the Duke. Absurd as it sounds, if it does not go well, it could be the end of animancy in Deerwood. I fear Avar may be swayed by all this unrest, irrational though it may be. We shall see. Does anyone here know anything about awakenings? There's an animancer on the lower floor who came all the way from Ravur to study them. Take the stairs down and look for Belasig. Alright, well, all of these sound like great things to do, and we will do them next time. Until then, you have a great day, and try not to lose your soul. Until then, bye.